How you doing, everybody? Justin Schwartz here on behalf of Ape Labs USA, and today we're going to do an introduction to the Ape Labs Connect. We're going to teach you how to navigate the home screen and everything that the home screen does. Then we're going to teach you how to save and create your own custom color, create and save your own custom programs, and also create and save your own custom scenes. Before we dive into all of that, make sure you're checking out Ape Labs at apelabsusa.com. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them down below. We're always happy to answer questions. Also, give this video a like and consider subscribing. We would love to see you back here again. All right, so Ape Labs Connect. Here's the interface, the dongle. Here's the app on my smartphone here. And the first thing I want to tell you about the Ape Labs Connect before we dive into the home screen and the education part of color, program, and scene is, one thing that I've noticed is that when you use the Ape Labs Connect, it is way more responsive than just using the remote. Why is that? Because you have a much stronger transmitter here built in. It actually gives you up to a 1 mile distance range, and it is immediate. As soon as you make any changes on the Connect app, it immediately changes the lights. There's no delay at all. And the Ape remote with the RF signal is great. But when you're in a big room, that RF frequency is only gonna be as good as it can be. Sometimes you'll see little delays when you're hitting it with the remote. You never see that with the Ape Labs Connect. So the responsiveness of this is really the first thing that you're gonna wanna know about. But let's now dive into the home screen, because if you just purchased the Ape Labs Connect and you're looking to kind of get an understanding of what everything is, that's the first place you're gonna see. So the first thing is, we go to the home screen here, and at the top, you're gonna see your group control. Now you have all groups on, or you can select them individually, 1, 2, 3, or 4, or just hit all groups. As you go down, you'll see a color picker. That color picker is like a color wheel. And as you move your finger around the color picker, it's gonna change the color for you. Beautiful, just like that. On top of the color picker, you'll see something called that says load presets. That's going to show you any custom colors that you've made, any custom programs, and then it's gonna go through the Ape Labs event-ready custom colors. There are wedding ones, there are standards, there are requested event colors, and then the all-famous rainbow mode, which is a program that's also ready to go for you there as a preset. So if we close that out, you'll also get to see underneath the color picker the blackout button. Pretty straightforward, right? Hit the button, blacks out all the lights. There's a strobe button there. Hit the strobe button, it strobes all the lights. Or let's say I just want groups 2 to strobe, I can just do it that way. All depends on how you want to do it, right? I also have intensity control. We're going to go back to all groups. I have intensity control of the level of brightness, and then I have speed increment for the lights also. And we can change that from 100 down to 0 and anywhere in between. At the bottom, before we are above the tabs, there's a music mode option. Music mode is the 1-button light show activation, and it's off right now, and as you can see, the lights are in static mode. If I were to put them onto the lights mode, now it's going to use the microphones in the lights to create the music mode light show. If I use the Connect option here, it'll actually use the microphone in the Connect. It'll centralize music mode, and the lights themselves will do the same thing. As you can see now behind me, the neons are reacting the same way. If I put them in lights mode, it's going to use the microphone in the lights, and it will create a bit more staggered light show. Many people will say they like the lights mode better, but sometimes you have to use the Connect. It really depends on the room you're in and what you're trying to achieve. But both of those are available for you, and that's what that tab does. And then you have a 0 and a 15% option. As you can see now, I put it to 0, and the lights turn completely off. So that 0 is a 0% of a level of intensity, or I go to 15, and what that does is that leaves the lights at 15% brightness. even when there's no music playing at all. If you use 0%, you're gonna get a bit more drastic dynamic lighting show when in music mode. So let's turn that back off. Now we have our lights back in static. And I'm gonna show you now how to make a custom color. So how do we make a custom color? There's two ways to do it. The first way is to do it right from the color picker and right from the home screen here. Let's say we wanna make a nice blue. All you gotta do is go to the blue that you like and then click Save Color. I like blue. Just name it and save it. That's simple. Now if you go to Load Preset, you'll see I like blue is right there, and we can tap it and the lights will go to the color that we just made. If you now change to the Colors tab at the bottom of the home screen here, you'll see all the custom colors that we've made, and I can change those anytime I want just by hitting the button. But this is also another section where you can create your own color, and you can do it in a bit more customizable way there. So if we hit the pink plus button here, we now are going to show a preview. And let's say I want a lot of red, I want a little bit of green, I want a lot of blue, and then I want to put about 3/4 white in there. It's creating this kind of like a light purple, pretty cool. What happens if I add more green to that? It starts to get a little bit cooler. What if I turn the red down? It starts to get a little bit more blue. I'm gonna turn that white down, turn the blue down, and you can see the colors changing here. Once I get to a section and a color that I like, I can save it. Make sure you name the color, and it will go back to where all your saved colors are, and now I can access it at any point that I want. Why is this something that's important? Because people are picky out there. Either you as an event professional want to create your own custom colors, or your guests have very specific color requests, whether it's a sports team event that you're doing something for, or a prom where they want the school colors, right? Or you have a wedding where the bride wants you to create a color that matches the bridesmaid dresses. We've been there. Now you have a tool to be able to actually give them and accommodate exactly what they want color-wise. So that's how to create a custom color. The next thing to show you is how to create a custom program, and I'll first tell you what a program is. A program is similar to rainbow mode like we showed you before. I'll kind of show you the rainbow mode real fast. We go to rainbow mode. Rainbow mode, what that's going to do is that's actually going to cycle through all of the Ape Labs colors, and it does it in a slow fade. We can change the speed increment on that if we want, but that's essentially what a program is. Now let's say we want to create our own programs, and I've done one where it's a holiday party program. That's a very popular one. Red and green is probably something that you're going to find will be very popular at the end of the year. People want to have red and green at their events, at these holiday parties. So I made one prior to us setting this up, and now you can kind of see the lights will change from red to green. Red. And how did we do that? What exactly is happening? I'll do that with you real quick. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the plus button at the bottom, and then we're going to select our colors. We're going to go with red. We're going to go with green. We're going to go with red, and we're going to go with green again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the speed increments on the fade and the hold. The fade is how long are we going to take to fade from one color to the next. Let's say I want it to be immediate. I'm going to put it to 0 seconds, right? I'm going to put them all to 0 because I want it to go from red to green immediately. But I want them to hold at each color for 5 seconds. So I'm going to have that changed here. You can see. And now I'm doing a red, green, 0 second fade and a 5 second hold. Let's do a quick preview and I'll show you what that looks like. So now that's red. It's going to hold it for 5 seconds. And now it's gonna go right to green. You see that? 3, 4, 5, back to red, 3, 4, 5, back to green. And now you have the ability to change that any way that you want, any color increment that you want. You can save this and access it at a later date, which is great. And the last thing I'm going to show you are scenes. What is a scene? And I think the scene, and I'm going to actually put it into a static scene right now, get out of this fade that we were doing. So now I have it in a static scene. But what is a scene? A scene is basically 4 groups of lights that are going to immediately go into the setting that you create here when you make the scene. So for right now, I have a static scene. I have group 1 in red, no fade, no movement, highest intensity of brightness. I have group 2 in pastel blue. You can see the blue here. I've got magenta on the cans behind me on group 3, and then I have the neons in lime, which is group 4. And let's say that's how I want them when people are walking into the event. I want a static color, I want nothing going on. Now, let's say we have a slow dance going on. Maybe I want a little bit of movement. Maybe I want a slow fade. So what I did was I created a slow dance scene where all 4 groups are going to be in rainbow mode, but they're going to be changing at about a 30% rate. So we quickly hit that. And what's nice about the scenes is that it's one button activation. You don't have to go, like using the remote, you have to go and change each group, then thumb through each change until you get to the colors that you want. Whether you want it on music mode, whatever it is that you're going to be changing, you have to do it manually from the remote. When you have it saved in a scene, it's going to do it at the press of a button. So if I quickly go back to my static scene, you'll see it'll go right back to static, or I want to go to my slow dance scene. Now, slow dance is over. People are going to start dancing. I want to go immediately to a dance scene where maybe we're in music mode now. I can immediately hit that. And as you see, I have them saved to music mode from the Connect. Now I'm in my dance scene and everything is reacting to the sound coming into the Connect. And those are what scenes are and how you would use them, I think, for workflow. Practically, they're great. And it's definitely something that's going to save you time and allow you to be prepared before the event even starts. So how do we create a scene? Let's show you that real quickly. Again, you're going to hit the pink plus button at the bottom. And now we're going to see 4 different sections here. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. So Group 1, let's select a color. Let's say it's going to be amber. Now, I want that to be at its highest level of intensity. I want it to be at 50% speed movement. There's also a strobe function here. You can turn strobing on or off. And I want no music mode. Group 2, I'm going to put into purple. I'm going to turn music mode on, Connect, and I'm going to put the rate of speed up to 20%. Next, I'm going to do a cool white. I'm going to put strobing on, highest level of intensity, so that's just going to strobe when I turn that back on. And then the last group here, which is the neons, we're going to put to lime, and I'm going to make them strobe too. So if I save that, let's call that video scene 2. If I save that now, here it is at the top of the screen. If I hit it, boom. Now it just did exactly what I created in the scene. It went to it immediately. If I want everything to go back to static, just hit my static scene. Boom, everything's back to static. Let's say I want to go back to my slow dance scene. I want that slow fade again. Just like that, I did it. And now we're back to dancing. We want things to be in music mode, just like that. I didn't have to fumble through the remote. I was able to do it immediately at the tap of a button. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is, let's say you love these concepts, you love the ideas here, but you don't actually feel like doing it, right? Well, guess what? Ape Labs has a thought of that. And one of the really cool features of the Connect is that you actually have the ability to connect with other Ape Labs users. So there are community programs, there are community colors as well. And all you have to do to get to those is go to the color tab. At the bottom, you'll see browse community colors. So let's say I don't feel like making my own colors, and I like to just, let's see what other people have made. Oh, this just looks nice, a dark amber. All right, or a green, or a purple, or full-on white. Almost green. Deep blue. Ooh, Ape Labs color. That's pretty cool, that is. That's the Ape Labs color right there. So now you can access these colors without having to create your own colors. Let's say you wanna find them, you like them, you can do that there. Same thing with programs. Maybe you don't feel like making your own programs, but you wanna view and use other people's programs. There's a lot of cool ones here. So at the same thing, you go to the Programs tab, you hit the Browse Community Programs, and you got so many of these to choose from. Let's take a look at this kind of purple pink one. Real white strobe. This sounds cool. Ooh, real white strobo. Here we go. Want to see it? Look at that. Pretty cool, right? All these can be put into music mode, which will make them change as well, even more. Let's see this one. Red on, red off. Red on, red off. And that's pretty cool. When you're making a program, you can go to blackout. You can do a lot of different things. And this actually will sometimes give you ideas and inspiration when you go into the community program. So here's a red, white, and blue one for 4th of July. Pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's a good place to kind of stop for today. We're gonna go through more because the Connect can do a lot more than just what we showed you today, but it's a lot to take in at one time. So we're gonna come back with another video and we'll go deeper into this with more features and more benefits that you can get out of the Ape Labs Connect. But today I just wanted to show you some of the basics, which is how to use the home screen, how to create your custom colors, and how to create custom programs and scenes. Scenes I absolutely love, and I really think that for any event DJ, musician, anyone in the event industry anyone in the event industry, this will really make your life easier and it will get you set up and ready to go before you even get to the event. So what did you think? Are you using the Ape Labs Connect yet? Do you have it or you're not using it? You prefer to use the remote? Well, I hope some of these things show you just how great the Connect is. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them down below. We're always happy to answer questions for you. Consider subscribing to our page here, of course. We'd love to see you back here again. And also make sure you're checking out Ape Labs at apelabsusa.com. You can pick up the Connect there as well as all of the other Ape Labs products. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you got something out of it. We'll see you on the next one, everyone, all right? Auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye.